Everybody, hope you're doing well today. And today I want to talk about the new Cyberpunk 2077 DLC they just announced like 2-3 days ago. The news kind of came out when I was working on the Halo Infinite video, so I didn't really get a chance to do a video on it, but here we are today, so let's get into it. So the new and only planned DLC for Cyberpunk is expected to come out in 2023, so a bit of far away from now. But it's going to be called Phantom Liberty, and we don't know much about it now, but the DLC is being treated as more of an expansion than just a run-off-the-mill DLC. Like, it's going to add a lot of content to the game. And from Project Red themselves, they've confirmed this is the only planned DLC they have for Cyberpunk 2077. And the latter part of what I just said is the main reason I wanted to get started on this video now, because I feel like Cyberpunk exists in this sort of unique bubble, if you will. Unlike other games in the same sphere, they don't have to deal with the shitty launch reputation that Cyberpunk still has. I feel like that stigma is probably going to stick with the game through the rest of its run, regardless of what DLC they put out, you know what I'm saying? The game just had so many bugs when it first came out, and they had to put out so many different patches to fix it. I feel like if we were to do a poll, right, only including people who pre-ordered the game when it first came out, before we knew about the bugs and everything like that, I feel like the results would be pretty shocking and pretty lopsided. I remember at the time, a lot of people were using Cyberpunk as an example as to why you shouldn't pre-order games. And even 2 years later, I'm not sure if that stigma has passed it yet, where with this new expansion that they're releasing, I'm not sure if people are going to be as eager to buy it when it first releases because they know there is a decent chance that it might just introduce a shitload of bugs and not be as good as they thought it was going to be in the first place. And when I bring up these high stakes for Cyberpunk, I'm not trying to isolate it from other games that have also had a bad launch. There are plenty of games, No Man's Sky, Fallout 76, games that have had shitty launches that slowly over time, with every patch and update, slowly patch themselves into acceptable games to play. But what sets apart Cyberpunk from these other games I just mentioned is not only is it more popular, but it was more anticipated than both the games I just mentioned combined. The hype for Cyberpunk was massive, and honestly, it's a shame that it had the bad launch, because if it hadn't had that bad launch, I predict for you that it probably would be even more popular than it is now. And I think this is a topic that people are actually going to talk about more when it gets closer to the game's release. It's not going to come out until 2023, so this video is very early, but even now in 2022, I predict for you that once the DLC, when it comes out, I believe that there's going to be some backlash and some should you buy it yet or should you wait. I don't think this was the case when the game was first released, but seeing as everything that happened from it, I think it's fair to say that Project Red is in a high-stakes situation with this release. I mean, picture this, right? Let's imagine the DLC comes out. It could be good, whatever, but let's imagine for the sake of argument it's bad, right? That it's just like the launch and it introduces a shit ton of bugs, everybody hates it, whatever. What credibility does Project Red have after that? Are you going to feel comfortable pre-ordering anything from them ever again? And don't get me wrong, I like Project Red, I do. I really love Cyberpunk, I think it's a great game. It became a great game over time after they dealt with the bugs. I really like them as a studio. That's why I want to see them succeed, and also why I recognized how much of a risky, high-stakes situation this is for them. This isn't just Cyberpunk's first DLC, it's the only DLC they have planned, the only expansion. That puts a lot of pressure on them to make sure it's a decent launch, you know? This is going to be a pretty big moment for Project Red. If they can pull this off with a good launch with minimal bugs, because every launch typically has bugs, but if they can prove that they can do it, it'll be huge for everything that they put out afterward. I mean, I know the way I say it, I make it sound like a movie or something, but like, this is a pretty big situation, man. They could take a massive W here or an even bigger L. It's win or lose. They're gambling with their reputation here. Honestly, I respect them all the more for it. Like, obviously they're a company and they want money. They want money above all else. All companies do. But I do think, I just got this feeling, man. I got a feeling that they got something to prove with this. It's like a movie, bro. They want to prove that they can put out a good launch. They got knocked down, and now they're coming back up to say, hey, we can add Cyberpunk content without fucking ruining the game with bugs. One of the benefits they have, though, is that they gave themselves plenty of time to get this one out. I don't think they're going to be in as much of a rush to get it out on time like they were with the first game. Either way, though, people are going to be skeptical regardless of if it's good or not, which I mean, rightfully so. It's your money at the end of the day, and the expansion's definitely not going to be cheap. I'm honestly really interested, though, in how many people are going to buy the expansion when it comes out. Honestly, dude, I might make a part 2 to this video later down the line and just be like, how did they do, you know? The only issue with that is this video is going to come out like, what, a year in advance? Like, I feel like there might not be that much interest in it, but like I alluded to earlier, man, you don't want to be known as the game studio that, yeah, you can make a decent game, but you can't launch one to save your life. You don't want to be known as that. And I feel like Project Red that's sort of the stereotype they have right now. And it sucks, dude. I mean, I've been replaying Cyberpunk, and I definitely think it's a great game. I think they definitely did a lot of good work patching it up and stuff, and I think the DLC, if I'm being honest, like, call me an optimist, but I think it might be pretty good, you know? know? If I'm being honest, I was kind of debating on just waiting for footage to come out before releasing this video, but then I remembered that nowadays most game trailers are just mostly cinematic shots that don't really show any gameplay. But yeah, to sum it up, a year from now, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if this launch was pretty good. I was pretty excited to put this video out, man, because it's more of a prediction video than it is a review. And to be honest, I think this is kind of flying under the radar. I don't think many people are talking about it right now. And that's kind of why I wanted to educate you guys, you know, make you aware of what's going on. I think it's pretty entertaining to think about it as a game studio trying to salvage their reputation, facing the biggest criticism of their game that they've ever had. I think if they can overcome this, the sky is the limit for where Cyberpunk could go, or really any of the future games that they make. And I know I'm kind of romanticizing the concept and kind of putting that narrative out there, but not only do I think it's true, I think it makes the entire situation more interesting, and I think we should bring attention to the launch. I think it's going to be pretty important. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching. If you stuck by me this long, I really appreciate it. I appreciate any and all support you guys give me, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.